Back here on Sports Talk on the Big 870, Mike Detillier along with Bobby Hebert. On the line with us now, Deuce McAllister, also with the SEC Network. We can watch him on Saturdays and listen to him on Sundays. Deuce, great to have you with us.
Deuce, looking at the Saints and great achievements, when you get nationally recognized, and I think well-deserved, we should have won special teams and defensive NFC Player of the Week. I thought Blake Gillikin got robbed. But how about Marshawn Lattimore? Boy, when you look at broke up a career best, 6 passes, and really you think that's hard to do. If you get 2 passes defended, 3, that's an outstanding game. Well, he broke up 6 passes, the first player since 2017 season to record 6 passes defended in a single game. And then I want you to comment on that. And then also when I look at the Saints defense right now, how opportunistic they are. Recorded 2 more interceptions against Washington and now has 9 on the season. That's more interceptions by a Saints team through 5 games. You got to go back to the Super Bowl year since 2009. So we definitely, when it's hitting our hands, we catching it. We're not just getting a pass defended.
Well, first of all, going with the Lattimore comment, how many interceptions does he have if that hand or wrist isn't broken? I think he would at least have had about now at least 4 interceptions. I mean, just because of he's got that many casts on, and he's still playing top-notch defense, and that's what you want. And so he was definitely locked in, and he loved that matchup, and that just tells you as far as how much they like McLaurin because they kept going to him.
Yeah, right.
They kept going to him, and it was just a really, really good showing. That's what you paid him. That's why you pay him. I mean, and he is showing that he is deserving of that type of contract. And, I do believe, Blake was kind of robbed on the special teams player of the year. They gave it to the young man from the Eagles. The Eagles, he blocked the punt. Yeah. He blocked the punt and had a few tackles, and they felt like that was probably more deserving. And I don't agree with that one. But, hey, it helped us to be able to get at least 14 points when you talk about field position, hitting yardage, and, where Washington had to start. And, Bobby, I definitely agree with you when you talk about the interceptions. I mean, because it has made a tremendous difference in, not only takeaways but limiting points. The only thing here's I think when you look at it, we have more interceptions than we do sacks.
Whoa.
Think about that.
Yeah, because if you're a top sack getter team, you think for sure we got to be low 40s, if not high 40s or low 50s. And so we got, dudes, that's a great stat. We got more interceptions than sacks right now. Whoa! Now that's impressive on the back end. That is unbelievable how we catching it, and we're not just knocking it down.
Well, you're not knocking it down. You're coming up with the catches, but at some point that's got to flip.
Yes.
You've got to be able to get sacks. You've got to be able to – I know it's one thing to affect the quarterback, and it's one thing to be able to hit the quarterback. But if you can get a sack, we can strip the football. You come up with the trifecta. That's what we really want. But I'll take the interceptions, no doubt about it. I mean, because that's an automatic possession. Getting a sack doesn't lead to an automatic possession. That just means you may have backed them up. But getting an interception, that's automatic. That's turning the ball over. So I would love to see those sack numbers go up, though, no doubt about it.
Now, Deuce, I didn't get to talk to you about this, but I've made this comment a couple of times. And I'm just looking at where we're at now because we play 17, but it's basically a quarter of the season. And would you somewhat agree with this? To me, if we have the number 1 red zone offense as far as scoring touchdowns and the number 1 red zone defense, and you're not on a negative side in a turnover margin right now, like we're second in the league +5, how can you not help but win? For sure you should win. If that keeps up, Deuce, I don't see how we can't win.
Well, if you can continue that at the midway point of the season and you're still, number 1 in both of those categories, then if you are, at least, your next quarter, you're 3-1.
Right.
You should be 3-1 at your next quarter if you still are leading in those categories. And we know that we have some tough teams coming up, and it doesn't look like when you go to Seattle, it doesn't look like Russell is going to be available, and so that still will be a tough game because it's still tough to play up there. But he does so much for them. And, I think Geno will get his feet wet, and, he should be able to put on a pretty good performance. I think they got Seattle this week. But, for the Saints, they have to feel pretty good of where they are and not having to face Russell Wilson in that next game. And then, obviously the games kind of continue to get bigger and bigger because then I think you would come home after that. And that's going to be a tough matchup when you talk about going up against Tampa. I mean, get some of those healthy players back and just see exactly who you are as far as the team is concerned.
You might say next man up. It does matter, the next man up. And a lot of times you look at the point spread, even though you have your key players, it doesn't fluctuate that much if they think you better than an opponent. But I don't know how this cannot help us if, like, Michael Thomas is back in the lineup. I think that definitely helps Jameis Winston. And if he's healthy, hell, when he's well, best pass rusher. Look how dominant when Davenport, he's been impressive in training camp, preseason, when he played at the beginning. Then you got, I think, you could put him on the edge or the middle, most dominant defensive lineman in David Onyemata. And then you bring him back Will Lutz and the stability there. So, dudes, that has to help us. And
McCoy.
And McCoy at center, another one. Yeah, then you got Armstead. I mean, dudes, those players make a difference. And do you have any idea? You think it's got to be more patient? You think it's like a November deal, late October, or what?
I know that they want to get him back as soon as possible. I mean, Onyemata, obviously, we know his situation is different. I mean, just because he's suspended, Michael Thomas can come back and will eligible to come back. But, it's going to be a health standpoint for some of those guys. I mean, Davenport, it's going to be the same thing. He served his time as far as, injury reserve, Quan Alexander. It'll be how healthy, and do you throw him out there, rush him back, and now they re-injure something, or do they get completely healthy by the time off that they've missed? And so I think when you look at it, you're talking about not only Pro Bowl players, you're talking about all pros. And that's almost like picking up a free agent. Hey, look, here's a free agent addition or a trade that you were able to pick up, and, he knows your system already. He doesn't have to adapt to your system. So I think anytime you're talking about something like that, man, you've got to love it.
Now, Deuce, looking at Jameis Winston, I think from a confidence standpoint, playing quarterback, I know what he's thinking in certain situations as far as leading a winning team. And you know how whenever you win, it breeds confidence. And I'm looking at Jameis Winston right now. He's 3-2, which marks the first time in his career as a starter that has a record above 500 after the first 5 games of the season. He was 2-3 at this point in 4 of his 5 seasons with the Buccaneers. So that has to even give him confidence right now. Well, I'm going into the bye week, and we got a big win, and I'm just playing on a winning franchise.
Well, I think I agree with you in all of that. I mean, but at the end of the day, there's certain things that you want to say, hey, look, this is what I can get better at. I can get better with the clock in my head. I can get better moving in the pocket. You talk about protection. You talk about trust and understanding and knowing when this play is called based on that defense. Bobby, I know exactly where I'm going with the ball. There's nothing that they're tricking me on because I know exactly where I'm going with the ball based off of this defense.
Yep.
Yeah, the pre-snap read. And so based off of that look, I'm going right here with the ball. And now it's just making sure that me and my guy are on the same page. I mean, because let's just say a guy slips and or he gets jammed at the line of scrimmage. Okay, I'm going to 2. I'm going to number 3. And then worst to worst, all right, where's my outlet? Is it a tight end? Is it a fullback? Is it Alvin? Just being able to play that game pre-snap before the ball is even snapped.